It is 3 in the morning and your body is exhausted, but your mind will not switch off. It jumps from one thought to another, replays what you said, invents problems that do not yet exist, judges you, scares you, and the more you want it to stop, the faster it spins. If you know that feeling, you are not alone, and above all, you are not broken. A mind that will not stop is not a defective mind. It is an untrained one. And almost 2,000 years ago, long before the word anxiety, some men called the Stoics designed precise tools to tame exactly this. Marcus Aurelius, who carried an entire empire on his shoulders, Seneca, who knew exile and the threat of death, Epictetus, who was born a slave. All of them learned to find a deep calm in the middle of chaos. Not with empty tricks, but with a different way of relating to their own thoughts. In this video, you are going to discover 6 Stoic habits to calm a mind that will not stop, practical, simple, that you can begin to use this very night. I will not promise you that your head will fall silent forever. That does not exist. I promise you something better, that you will stop being its slave and become its master. Take a deep breath, slow down, and let us begin with the first. The first step to calm a mind that will not stop is to realize something almost no one has taught you. You are not your thoughts. When you are lying in bed and your head starts to spin, replaying a conversation, imagining disasters, judging yourself without mercy, it feels like that voice is you. But it is not. You are the one who hears it. That simple distinction changes everything. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that the mind free of passions is a fortress, the safest place a human being can retreat to. But to enter that fortress, you first have to stop believing every thought that passes. A thought is not an order nor a truth. It is only a mental event, a cloud crossing the sky. The problem is not that it appears. The problem is that you climb onto it. You chase it, you feed it, and 1 becomes 10. When you learn to watch a thought without latching onto it, something strange happens. It loses its power. You can tell yourself inside, this is only a thought, it is not reality, and watch it pass the way you watch a stranger pass by on the street. You do not have to fight it or convince it of anything. Just stop treating it as if it owned your house. Tonight, when your mind starts to race, try to take a step back and look at it from the outside. You are the sky. The thoughts are only the weather. The second way to calm your mind is to bring it back to the only place where life actually happens, the present. Think about what feeds your anxiety. It is almost always one of 2 things, the past you replay on a loop or the future that does not yet exist. You torture yourself over something you said yesterday, or you dread something that might happen tomorrow. But neither yesterday nor tomorrow is here now. They are ghosts. The mind that will not stop lies jumping between those 2 ghosts, and that is why it never rests. Marcus Aurelius wrote that every man lives only the present, this vanishing instant, and that everything else has either already been lived or is uncertain. When you truly understand that, a huge part of your suffering switches off, because you realize that almost everything that distresses you is not happening. You are only imagining it. The present, instead, is almost always bearable. Right now, in this second, you are probably fine. You have air. You have a place to be. No disaster is occurring. The trick is to anchor yourself. Feel your feet on the ground. Listen to the sounds of the room. Notice the air coming in and going out. That is not a mystical technique. It is returning your mind to the only real territory. Every time your head runs off toward the past or the future, bring it gently back to the now. There, and only there, calm exists. The third key to calm your mind is the most powerful idea in all of Stoic philosophy. Separate what depends on you from what is not. Epictetus opened his manual with this distinction because he knew the secret of peace was hidden in it. There are things in your power, your decisions, your efforts, your attitude. And there are things that are not, what others think, what already happened, the final outcome, the future. The mind that will not stop is almost always trapped chewing on exactly the second kind, what it cannot change. Notice how absurd that is. You spend hours turning over something you have no power over, like someone trying to push a mountain with their hands. You exhaust yourself and the mountain does not move. The Stoic does something radically different. Faced with any worry, he asks, does this depend on me? Yes or no? If it depends on you, then stop worrying and act. Take the step that is in your hand. And if it does not depend on you, then worrying is pure waste. Let it go. Not because it does not matter, but because your anguish will change nothing. That question, again and again, is like a filter that empties your mind of useless weight. The next time a thought grips you, stop and ask whether it is in your hands. If it is not, breathe, and let it go. Freedom begins precisely in that gesture. The fourth way to calm your mind is to change your altitude. The Stoics practiced a mental exercise they called the view from above, and it is one of the fastest remedies there is against an overflowing mind. When you are trapped in a problem, you see everything as huge. That argument, that bill, that mistake, fill the entire sky of your head. But that is an illusion of perspective. You are too close. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled an empire, forced himself to imagine the whole world from on high. The armies, the cities, the weddings and the funerals, the crowds arguing, all at once, and to see himself as a tiny point in an immense story. By doing so, his problems did not disappear, but they returned to their real size. Try it yourself tonight. Imagine you rise above your room, then above your building, your city, until you see the whole earth floating in the black of space. From there, look at the matter that was stealing your sleep. How big is it now? Almost always it shrinks until it becomes nearly nothing. Most of the things that distress us are immense only because we look at them an inch from our face. When you take distance, the universe reminds you how brief everything is, and in that smallness there is an enormous relief, not sad, but freeing. To lift your gaze is to lower the noise. The fifth way to calm your mind is one the Stoics practiced every day: writing. It is no coincidence that the most famous book in all of this philosophy, the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, was not written for anyone. The most powerful man in the world would sit down at night and write to himself, reminding himself how he wanted to live, ordering the chaos of his head onto the page. And Seneca recommended a similar exercise, reviewing the day before sleep, asking himself what he had done well and what he could improve, like someone giving an account to a calm friend. When thoughts spin inside your skull, they are slippery, they multiply, they come back again and again because the mind is afraid of forgetting them. But the moment you put them in writing, something almost magical happens. They stop chasing you. The paper holds them for you, and your mind, relieved, can finally let them go. You do not need to write well or beautifully. Just take a sheet and empty out everything you carry inside. No filter, no order. What worries you, what you fear, what you are grateful for. You will see how, reading it outside your head, almost everything seems smaller and more manageable than it felt. What in the darkness of the mind was a giant monster, on paper turns out to be only a sentence. Writing is like opening a window in a stuffy room. The air comes in, and at last you can breathe. The sixth and final way to calm your mind is perhaps the hardest and the most freeing of all: accept that you cannot know everything. A large part of mental noise is born from an impossible attempt, wanting to control the future by thinking about it. You run through one scenario, then another, and another, as if by turning it over enough you could guarantee everything turns out well. But it does not work that way. No amount of worry has ever changed what is going to happen. Thinking about a problem 1,000 times does not solve it. It only makes you suffer it 1,000 times. The Stoics understood that uncertainty is not a flaw of life. It is its very nature. You do not know what will happen tomorrow, and you never will, and that is all right. Seneca said that whoever suffers before it is time suffers more than necessary, because he pays in advance for a pain that may never arrive. True calm does not come from having all the answers. It comes from being at peace even without them. It is letting go of the helm of what cannot be steered and trusting that you will know how to respond when the moment comes, not before. There is enormous tranquility in telling yourself, I do not know what will happen, and I will do what I can when the time comes. That sentence disarms most of your nighttime fears. The mind that accepts not knowing can finally rest, because it stops fighting the one thing no human being has ever defeated, the unknown. Let go, breathe, and sleep. We have walked through the 6 habits to calm a mind that will not stop together. Remember that you are not your thoughts, that life only happens in the present, that you must release what you do not control. Look at your problems from above, write to empty your head, and accept that you will never know everything. None of these habits demands that you change your life all at once. It is enough that tonight you choose one and put it into practice when your mind starts to race. Calm is not a place you reach once and stay forever. It is a practice, a gentle returning again and again, as the ancient Stoics did every day of their lives. Be patient with yourself. Your mind has been trained for years to speed up, and learning to slow it down takes time. But each time you practice, it will be a little easier. If this video gave you some peace, give it a like and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom every night. And before you sleep, remember, you are the sky, and the thoughts are only the weather. Rest well.